Alright everyone. I'm doing stuff I shouldn't be doing because I should be working on other stuff. But I want to do this, so I'm doing it. So what I'm holding here is a piece of stainless steel tubing. It's 1/8 wall, it's 1 inch outer diameter. I had purchased this when I was building my 29 sedan. Excuse me, the reason I purchased this was to build the rear Nerf bar. What ended up happening was, this is pipe, I'm sorry, this is stainless pipe. I didn't know the difference between pipe and tubing. And the pipe is obviously just too thick of a wall, so I wasn't able to use it because I couldn't bend it. My buddy Joe ended up building me one at his work, and that's what's on the car now. So I've had this for like 3 or 4 years now, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna build a rear bumper for the car, and I'm not gonna polish this or anything. I bought it unpolished. I made my center mark. I'm gonna make a few marks on the end, and I'm gonna just bend this up. And whatever width it ends up being is the width it's going to be. And that's what I'm going to use on the Roadster. And after I build this, I'm going to build a roll bar out of it. It'll be more for looks, but it ought to look pretty good. Alright, so this is a tubing bender that my buddy Joe brought over. Alright. I just used it for the first time a few minutes ago, and it works pretty good. You gotta give it 4 good cranks to get that tubing at 90 degrees. I'm gonna go just a little bit more. Alright, right there. Looks to be about right. Alright, so that's one side. As you can see, bends it nice and smooth. Let's do the other side. All the way back. So the hardest part is, I think, making it vertical. Is making the ends even as far as the bends. I want the bend to be straight up and down. As close to it as you can get. 1, 2. Woo, it's windy out. Actually looks pretty good. I think that one bent a little quicker. Alright, I'm pretty good there. Alright guys, that's gonna be my rear bumper. Let's go check it out in the garage. So like I said, I'm gonna center it. So I already have my center mark. I'm gonna go something like that. I think it's gonna look pretty good. So now what I need to do is I got a few mounting points under the car that I can attach it to. One right here in the center, and just the back rail of the sub rail, the rear sub rail. I'm gonna get this cleaned up and get it welded. Get some steel welded to this, and I think that's gonna be it. And I'll figure out how I'm gonna mount it to the car. I need to be able to make it removable, so when the time comes to paint the chassis, I'll be able to unbolt it and then just paint the actual mounts themselves. So there'll be 3 of them. What do you think? Pretty cool? I think so. Ugh. Alright everyone, what I'm doing right now is I'm heading under the car, and I'm gonna try to get, I'm gonna turn this light on. I can do this, I can zoom out a little bit. So we have this structure here that I added for the sub rails. You know, it's only tacked in place still at the moment. I can't finish weld it until I get the body tipped up in the air after it's off the chassis. So I have the sub rail itself, which is this here. I have this section here. This is probably spare tire mount. That's somewhat significant as far as thickness of steel, so maybe I could probably work off of that. But like I said, I do want to be able to be able to attach it with bolts. Again, this is just tacked in place, but I can definitely work off of somewhere off of here, drop it down and come under the body, and then come down the sub rail again. Come down the sub rail. I could always bring a tab out with a tab, you know, bolt into that if I had to. I don't know that I will. Probably better off just bolting it through the sub rail. So I think I'll add a bolt here, a bolt here. The bracket will drop down and come underneath under the body. But when it comes under the body, I actually want it to be this way. I want it to be flat so you really can't see it, because that tubing is only 1 inch thick. So it'll be flat this way, and as it drops down, I'll twist it, I'll heat it and bend it, and then it'll come out flat, and then I'll mimic the passenger side over here. So I'm gonna get those laid out with this cardstock. I got a handy dandy roll of masking tape and a pair of scissors. All right, everyone, so I'm working on the brackets for the bumper, the rear bumper. I have this just piece of steel, 1/4 inch. Yeah, no, it's a little under 1/4 inch, probably 3/16. But it will do. I'm going to try to cut most of this with the plasma cutter. So then what I'll do is once I get this one cut, I'll flip it over and I'll make another one for the passenger side. And then I'll get the bumper mounted, and then I'll make that last one, the third one, the center one last. Let's get this cut out. Like I said, I'm going to use the plasma cutter. I'm going to use the Yes Welder Cut 55 DS. Come on now. The reason I'm using the plasma cutter as much as I possibly can. So what's nice about this headband, you have a headlamp and you can even wear eye protection. I have glasses on, eye protection, ear protection. A lot of people purchase these after watching me use them on the last couple of videos. You guys are going to be so excited. Just keep them charged at night. You really notice the battery as it gets lower, the light really dims quite a bit. The high beam, like I said, lasts for about 3 hours. You'll want to charge it, try to charge it overnight in the garage if you have, you know, if you're able to do that, and you should be good. So that's that piece of metal cut. I'll clean it up with my grinder real quick. I don't know that I'll have to clean it up too much, but a little bit here. I gotta bend it here to close it together, and then I gotta bend it here. So pretty neat. Works really good. I don't want to reuse that. I'm gonna start from scratch. Alright, I want to make sure that I bend this the right way when it comes time, because it's going to be mirror to this one. So this is going to go here. I've got to bend this way to me. And then this is going to close that gap. So then this one will go this way. So I actually should have marked it on this side, but I'll be okay. I'm gonna put a grinding disc on my grinder and get to grinding. It really doesn't need it. Kind of grinding it for nothing. I should have put a flap disc on and cleaned it up, cleaned up the metal. Woo! Fancy! Fancy, fancy! I don't get fancy, but I get dancing. Come on now. So now what I need to do is, this is gonna go like that. This has to bend out. I want to mark where I need to bend it. Fire up my torch. We're in business. Right? Yeah. Questioning myself here. Should never do that. That's supposed to be like that. That ain't right. That's not right. That's supposed to be like that. So I got a little crazy there with my cutting. That's all right. Woo! As hot as a mother. You know what? Woo! I need gloves. What am I doing? Killing myself. So. Ugh. So I need to cut this. Yeah, so like that. I'll modify this real quick. Weld it. Now I gotta get my welder. Show you guys what I'm working on here. So this part here will be attached to the sub rail. This goes underneath that channel that I added for the floor structure. And then it bends and then it comes out flat. Drops down and then it goes out flat and then the bumper will be attached here. So that's what we're working on. So now what I need to do is I need to get this welded. I elevated it off the table with this piece of steel here, just so it would remain essentially vertical. I may have to kind of come up a little bit more, but that's it so far. Get a little bit of meat on the back where I can weld it, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to go set this in the car, put it up under the car and see how it fits. And see if it fits okay, I'll finish weld that. All right, so the next thing I got to do is I got to get these brackets set on the body of the car underneath on the sub rails. I'll clamp them in place. Get my holes marked, get my holes drilled, throw some bolts in there, and then I'll be able to set the tube bumper up and get that tacked in place also and see how it looks. Alright, so again, this is where the mount is going to be located on either side. I need the driver's side, which is here. Driver's side's going to be mounted right there, as such. So now I need to clamp it, get my holes marked, and get them drilled. Can you see me? You can see me! Look at me go! Alright, there's that side. That's what it looks like. Grab the wrong socket. Grab the right ratchet, but the wrong socket. I think it'll be alright. That's pretty tight. First thing I notice is, no, I guess not. I'm gonna say this one was sitting a little lower, but I think it's just because the body's damn. Well, no, it definitely is. So I'm gonna grab a hammer and pound on this, or grab my flat bar, bring this up, go grab my adjustable wrench, tweak this up about 1/4 of an inch or so, 1/8 of an inch, and then I'll get the bumper tacked in place. If I like it, I'll finish weld it right on the car. And then the only thing, like I said, I need to do is the ends where it curls in underneath the body of the car, I'm going to want to cut those a little bit short. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to do that while it's still on the car. And then check it off the list, even though it was never on the list. Gonna make some measurements off like the rear cross member or something to make sure it's even, because the back of the body is damaged here, so you really noticed how it's pushed in. But I mean, for the most part, it really doesn't look bad. So what I need to do is drop my phone. That's what I really need to do again. Like that. I need to figure out my measurements. I'm gonna spend a few minutes trying to make sure I got this thing where it needs to be before I make my cuts. I think I'm close, but I just want to be for sure. All right, so what I'm working on is I'm getting this trimmed down. I'm gonna trim down the other side also and see if I
let me know, do you feel me too? Let it show, babe, I'm into you. We've been on and off, in and out, up and down, too many times.
Now the tricky part, welding it. I guess I could take it off the car, bring it to the table. I suppose that would be easier. Can't just build anything simple. But it looks nice. Ooh, look what's here. Woo, woo, woo. Woo, I got the cheese grater. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. If anything, it's so hard to tell with this caved in. do you think, guys? That's the stainless steel tubing bumper. I like it. That's why I did it. So what I need to do is, that goes about 3 inches under, and this one goes about an inch extra. So I got to cut a little bit off of this side underneath, but that's it. Besides that, that's done. Paint the brackets when it comes time. All right, guys, check this out. We'll do the small ones first. So this pocket was actually on the end of the satchel, and I had asked her, I'd like to retain this pocket because it's already existing. What she ended up doing was she retained the pocket, which had this flap and this original button on it. What she ended up doing was actually, so I have this compartment here, which was the original compartment. Then she ended up adding another one, and she said she purposely made it big enough where you can fit a beer in it. Not that I would ever be driving my hot rod with a beer, but or a cold drink, let's say a water bottle of water. This is the hardware for the buttons. She took the liberty of painting the buttons with flat black nail polish. So these are actually going to get mounted, I believe they're going to get mounted up here and up inside the kick panel. I won't know until I create those panels, but this gives me a reason to move forward and create those. So there's going to be one for each side. So she ended up mimicking or getting close to. So this is just the material that was part of the bag, and she recreated it. And again, this one also has the same pocket. This is one of the other buttons from one of the other flaps. So I have one of these for each side of the car. Not sure if you guys remember, but I had mentioned in one of the earlier videos, I said I was going to put this in the trunk of the car. This is the satchel shrunk down. She ended up restitching and resewing the clasp. She made sure to keep the US on the front. These are actually my uncle's initials. He is a junior. And then on the inside it says D. Harlow. My grandfather's name was Dara Harlow, and so was my uncle's. And my grandfather, I know I had mentioned in a previous video that he was a tail gunner in World War II. Fortunately he made it home, and this was his or someone he knew. This was one of his possessions that he had here at the house. I live at my grandparents' old house, and I found this while searching through the attic. Or I found the satchel searching through the attic. Shortly after starting building this car, it kind of evolved into what it's turning into, is somewhat of a tribute to our heroes type of car, and to all you watching on the channel that have served in the past. Thank you. You know, we all owe you a debt of gratitude, and this is just a small token of my appreciation for your generation and the sacrifices you guys sacrificed, and the things that you put yourself through, and the losses and the victories and everything else. So again, this was my grandfather's, and it means a lot to have it in the car. So this now kind of morphing into somewhat of a military themed hot rod, which I think this car maybe could have been something that was, you know, built by a kid coming back from the war that, you know, was reading the magazines and or the old little pages and books, and got inspired to build a hot rod, and he came home and built a hot rod. This particular pouch or bag is the remnants of the satchel. These were actually the shoulder straps from that satchel. She shortened them and then sewed them. She sewed the clasps and the little D-ring holders. She sewed these on. This one is specifically for Allie, and the reason I say that is because typical girl fashion, they bring lots of stuff. This one opens right up. She made it so it folded on the bottom. It lays flat. She added a metal backbone on the two larger satchels, on the two larger map pockets. So she added a metal backbone inside to give it some rigidity and integrity. And then she said if you want, you can shorten these and run them straight down like this, or crisscross them. Personally, I like them crisscrossed. What we're gonna do is we're gonna stencil. Allie likes her snacks, and so do I. So we're gonna write snacks on this. We're gonna stencil snacks on a patch on another piece that we have left over, and then Molly's gonna sew it on. So this is gonna be Allie's snack bag. So that will be my tribute to her. That was what she wanted, so that's what we're gonna do. And Molly had a great time working on these. She said it was a really fun project, not something she typically does, and she says she loves how they came out, and so do Allie and I. So these here are gonna go. This is gonna go next to the seat where Allie sits, and then the one on this side that has my grandfather's name is gonna go right next to me. I've been picking away. I've been doing a lot of different things. I hollowed out an old coil that was bad, an old fin coil. I got that mounted on the motor at this point. You see that fin coil? That's a new addition to the car. I ended up modifying a couple frogmouth scoops so they would work with a backfire screen. So if you look inside, you can see a screen. That's old aluminum window screen. And then took a deburring bit and hollowed out or hogged out the frogmouth scoops so they would fit over the top of the carburetor with the metal screen. Kind of toying back and forth with what to do for a lock on the deck lid on the Roadster, and I was just rummaging through my shipping container, some of the boxes and totes that I brought to Carlisle hoping to sell stuff. Didn't sell, you know, obviously all my stuff, but I ended up finding this old trunk latch. I believe it's Model A. It's got the keys with it. It's got 2 keys with it, and it works. So I think what I'm gonna do is I had left a space on the deck lid. You can see it right there in the center of the deck lid. I left a space on the deck lid for a handle. I've been looking on eBay for something different, and I really haven't been able to find anything different. I think the way to go is something I already have instead of spending money. I've said it in the past, I'm really trying to do as much as I can on the car without spending money if I can help it. So that being said, I'm gonna bite the bullet. I'm gonna drill a hole. I'll do it. Yeah. That's it. Another hole. Big goddamn hole. It's about damn time. Alright. I don't love it. Big. That's what I was afraid of. But it's too late now. Alright guys, so I mounted this old chrome Model A deck lid handle. So it locks. So now all I got to do is I just have to build a latch down here. So I need to add a piece of structure anyways because this panel's a little flimsy. So I'm going to use the same material that I used to build the deck lid, run it underneath, and when I do, I'll build some type of a catch. I'll end up cutting this down. It doesn't need to be so long. Cut it probably in half, and then I'll build a tab off of that that will catch. That's what I did on the 34, kinda. One of the keys works, the other one doesn't, I guess. Yeah. So it really needed that. I'm not in love with the fact that it's kind of tall, but that's what the cars had back in the day, so I think that's what the person would have used who built this car back in the day, if it was built back in the day. So, and it fits with the car. It's all chrome, it's pitted, it's starting to kind of go to crap. All right, everyone. I think I'm going to call it a day. Next is going to be to work on the exhaust. I have all the pipe that I need, so I need to... I went to AutoZone and bought a few adapters, 1 3/4, which the headers are, to 2-inch, which the exhaust pipe is. I got a couple adapters, and I got a few 90-degree bends. So I'll be able to hopefully get my bends and everything and clock them and get those so I can attach the exhaust itself to the headers. I'll be able to check that off my list. I got my hangers today, so those are done, welded onto the frame and everything, so I'm happy with that. So like I said, next thing is to work on the exhaust, and then I have I'm going to take a piece of this tubing and I'll probably make the front spreader bar. Even though I have one already, I'll probably use this. And then in the future, once I get my windshield back, I will be able to then make my roll bar out of this same tubing. I think it's going to look pretty good. And that's pretty much it. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Tell me what you think about the rear bumper. And tell me what you think about everything that you've seen over the last couple of videos. A lot of big steps, a lot of things really coming together on the car. I got my cast battery shut off, my main power shut off switch. That came in the mail today. Seat belts came in the mail. I just got them mocked up in place right now. Yeah, just a lot of neat little additions to the car, and it's really shaping up. It actually looks like a complete hot rod right now, minus some spark plug wires. So thanks everyone for watching. I appreciate it, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.